This is the book, or the reading, or the Holy Quran.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ما أصاب من مصيبة إلا بإذن الله، ومن يؤمن بالله يهد قلبه، والله بكل شيء عليم. وأطيعوا الله وأطيعوا الرسول، فإن توليتم فإنما على رسولنا البلاغ المبين. الله لا إله إلا هو، وعلى الله فليتوكل المؤمنون. يا أيها الذين آمنوا إن من أزواجكم وأولادكم عدوا لكم فاحذروهم، وإن تعفوا وتصفحوا وتغفروا فإن الله غفور رحيم. إنما أموالكم وأولادكم فتنة، والله عنده أجر عظيم. فاتقوا الله ما استطعتم، واسمعوا وأطيعوا وأنفقوا خيرا لأنفسكم، ومن يوق شح نفسه فأولئك هم المفلحون. إن تقرضوا الله قرضا حسنا يضاعفه لكم ويغفر لكم، والله شكور حليم. عالم الغيب والشهادة العزيز الحكيم. صدق الله العظيم.
In the name of God, most gracious, most merciful. No kind of calamity can occur except by the leave of God. And if anyone believes in God, God guide his heart aright, for God knows all things. So obey God and obey his apostle. But if ye turn back, the duty of our apostle is but to proclaim the message clearly and openly. God, there is no God but he, and on God, therefore, let the believers put their trust. O ye who believe, truly among your wives and your children are some that are enemies to yourselves, so beware of them. But if ye forgive and overlook, and cover up their faults, verily God is oft forgiving, most merciful. Your riches and your children may be but a trial, but in the presence of God is the highest reward. So fear God as much as ye can, listen and obey, and spend in charity for the benefit of your own souls, and those saved from the covetousness of their own souls. They are the ones that achieve prosperity. If ye loan to God a beautiful loan, he will double it to your credit, and he will grant you forgiveness, for God is most ready to appreciate service, most forbearing, knower of what is hidden and what is open, exalted in might, full of wisdom. What we consider calamities may be blessings in disguise. Pain in the body is often a signal of something wrong, which we can cure by remedial measures. So in the moral and spiritual world, we should in all circumstances hold firmly to the faith that nothing happens without God's knowledge and leave, and therefore there must be some justice and wisdom according to his great universal plan. Our duty is to find out our own shortcomings and remedy them. If we try to do so in all sincerity of heart, God will give us guidance. The apostle comes to guide and teach, not to force and compel. The apostle's teaching is clear and unambiguous, and is open and free to all. In some cases, the demands of families, for example, wife and children, may conflict with a man's moral and spiritual conviction and duties. In such cases, he must guard against the abandonment of his convictions, duties, and ideals to their requests or desires. But he must not treat them harshly. He must make reasonable provision for them, and if they persist in opposing his clear duties and conviction, he must forgive them and not expose them to shame or ridicule, while at the same time holding on to his clear duty. Such cases occurred when godly men undertook exile from their native city of Mecca to follow the faith in Medina. In some cases their families murmured, but all came right in the end. Children may be a trial in many senses. First, their different ways of looking at things may cause you to reflect and to turn the highest things of eternal importance. Second, their relationships with you and with each other may confront you with problems far more complicated than those in separate individual lives, and thus become a test of your own strength of character and sense of responsibility. Third, their conflict with your ideals may vex your spirit, but may at the same time search out your fidelity to God. And fourth, their affection for you and your affection for them may be a source of strength for you if it is pure, just as it may be a danger if it is based on selfish or unworthy motives. So also riches and worldly goods have their disadvantages as well as dangers. Fear God in verse 16, combined with as much as you can, obviously means lead lives of self-restraint and righteousness, which is the usual meaning of taqwa. Charity is meant to help and do good to other people who need it, but it has the highest subjective value for the person who gives it. Like mercy, it blesseth him that gives it and him that takes. It purifies the giver's soul. The affection that he pours out is for his own spiritual benefit and progress. Our worst enemy is within ourselves, the grasping selfishness which would deprive others of their just rights or seize things which do not properly belong to it. If we can get over his covetous selfishness, we will achieve real prosperity in justice and truth. Our charity or love is called a loan to God, which not only increases our credit account manifold, but obtains for us the forgiveness of our sins and the capacity for increased service in the future. God's appreciation of our service or our love goes far deeper than its intrinsic merits or its specific expression in our side. His reward is beyond our deserts and passes over our defects. He judges by our motives, which he can read through and through. God's appreciation and forbearing kindness can reach so far beyond our merits because, firstly, his universal knowledge comprehends hidden motives which others cannot see in us. Secondly, his power is so great that he can afford to reward even the unworthy. And thirdly, his wisdom is so great that he can turn even our weakness into our strength. self-same God created all men. If some do good and others evil, and you wonder how the good do suffer and the evil thrive, remember the final goal, when true adjustments will be made. The gainers here will be the losers there, and the losers gainers. Some of this exchange you will see even here in this life, for unbelievers who deny the hereafter. But in the hereafter full account and true adjustment of good and ill will follow before the judgment seat. Nay, good will get more than its full reward, for God is bounteous, merciful, mighty, wise. You have been listening to the Holy Quran,